Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Penalty Podcast. I'm Gabe Garnett, and the Penalty Podcast mostly talks about the NFL and football related stuff that's happening, just like college and all that. And today, for the first episode, we're going to be talking about Wild Card Weekend that's happening in the NFL right now, and with all the 8 teams that are playing and that have played this weekend, we're going to be going over the games and the whole season. Actually, we're going to be talking about some controversial stuff that happened, like with Antonio Brown a few weeks ago and Henry Ruggs and what happened with that. So we're just going to go over it all and let's get started. So the first game that happened this weekend was the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals won 26-19. It was actually a pretty close game, which it was 3-10 in the first half, and then it was 13-10, 13-20 in the second half. But by the fourth quarter, it was 19-26, and it was a really close game all the way through. Derek Carr, he played pretty well, especially for him not having most of his team around him, which does suck because the Raiders, they have been through a lot this year, especially with the whole Henry Ruggs thing, where Henry Ruggs got in a car crash, sadly, speeding, and now he's in jail, I think, for it. But it's sad because the Raiders, they've had such a long season just to go 10-7. It's been a hard season for them, and I think Derek Carr definitely deserves like a run in the playoffs. And they lost their coach. John Gruden got called out for being racist and homophobic in emails, and they took care of him. They got rid of him after it because it was just dirty, And now they went the rest of the season with a new coach. They did start off very strong, and at first they were a top contender team just because how strong they started, but in reality they didn't play anyone really good for a while. And for the Bengals are looking really good with Joe Burrow at quarterback. He's in his second year now. He just got off a ACL tear, I'm pretty sure. But he looks really good throughout especially for his first playoff start. He looks amazing. His stats were honestly out of this world. He had 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he was 24 for 34 completion rate. And then Joe Mixon, the running back on the team, also did really well with 48 yards for 17 carries. Jamari Chase, also one of his wide receivers in LSU. They both, Joe Burrow and Chase, played at LSU together and won a championship. He did pretty well with only 23 yards though, but 23 rushing yards, my fault. 116 receiving yards, which actually is really well. He did really well receiving. He had a lot of yards, but even Derek Carr, he had a very good game. He had 1 interception thrown, which definitely did affect him, but he threw the ball 54 times. He only completed 29 times, but he threw that ball 54 times, and he threw for 310 yards, which is just amazing, honestly. I think Derek Carr is a top QB, and he doesn't get the love he deserves, I think, when it comes to what he does, really, because he plays at a top level. Just no one talks about it for some reason. And I think we really should start talking about it because he's good. He is good. He's going to be much better, I think, next year. I think the Raiders are going to be much better next year if they keep building up their team slowly. They have a lot of young guys. They have a good QB, a good captain QB. He should stay in the team, but it looks really good. And then the second game that played yesterday was the New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills, and they played in Buffalo. I am actually a New England Patriots fan. It does suck, especially because the Bills beat them 47-17. It does suck, especially we did have the Patriots have a rookie quarterback in right now. It's a starting rookie quarterback, Mac Jones. He's looking like a rookie of the year. Honestly, he's looking really good. He had 232 yards, but he had 2 interceptions, which really threw it off. 2 interceptions, 2 turnovers. That's 2 more drives for the Bills. That affected the Patriots, sadly. He had 24 for 38 pass completions and two touchdowns, which isn't very good. Isn't very bad. Which isn't very bad at all. but he definitely could have done better, I think. And then, but for Josh Allen is rolling. He's doing really well. He's doing really well when it comes to what's he doing. He has 308 yards he threw, 21 passing. But Josh Allen did play really well. He had five touchdowns he threw, which is honestly amazing. 5 touchdowns. Even Devin Singletary had 2 rushing touchdowns himself. 7 touchdowns for this team. They played very well against the Patriots. Bill Belichick did not do what he was supposed to. Honestly, what we all thought he would do is have a very good game plan coming in against the Bills. And it didn't look like it, especially with the rookie quarterback, a young receiver group, which definitely has to be built over time. I think they should draft a receiver. They're not going to have a high draft pick, but they're going to be in the 20s for the first round. And they should definitely take a new wide receiver in the draft. You know, any type of guy they could get from LSU, Alabama, Georgia, any type of even lower wide receiver, but it doesn't have to be high high-powered or really good stats in college. But Bill Belichick could turn him into anything. You know, they turned Edelman, QB, into a Hall of Fame receiver. Same for Chris Evans. They did very well with him too. A lacrosse player to a football star. He had three Super Bowls with the Patriots. It was amazing. But I think if we could just get better receivers, honestly, as the Patriots. But moving on from the Patriots, the Bills. The Bills look great. Their defense played very well. Their whole team played very well. The coaching was very good. Their rushing yards they kept down. They made sure the Patriots had a very good rushing game, and they kept them down to only 89 yards, which is very good. They got them to 5 yards per play, which is amazing. They had 2 turnovers, which helped a lot. They had 3 sacks. They had 3 sacks. They had 3 sacks, which was very good. They had more time of possession than the New England Patriots did. And they had less penalties. And, you know, it's the little things that add up to that win a game. I think that almost every drive they had a touchdown. Yeah, almost every drive that they touched the ball, they had a touchdown. Their first drive was a touchdown. Their second drive was a touchdown. Their third drive was a touchdown. Their fourth drive was a touchdown. Their fifth drive was a touchdown. Their sixth drive was a touchdown. Their seventh drive was a touchdown. But the Bills, they're looking really good. Every drive they had, they were 6 for 6 for touchdowns on every drive. They also had an interception for a touchdown on defense, which is amazing, honestly. Patriots played really bad. Bills played amazing. We know who won that game. The next game after the Bills and Patriots was the next day on Sunday. Sunday football. We all love it. It was Philadelphia versus Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay got the better of the Eagles this week. Honestly, the Eagles shouldn't have been in the playoffs anyway. They were 9-8. They weren't very good. The Buccaneers, they're 13-4. They're looking very good. Their whole receiver core is very good. Their whole rushing core looks so much better than every other team in the playoffs. But the Bucs, they look like Super Bowl contenders, especially with Tom Brady as your quarterback. You have a guy that good, a guy who has more postseason wins than every quarterback combined. There's a good chance you're going to make it to the Super Bowl. I think they go deep in the playoffs at least. They're going to make the championship. And if they don't win the championship, they don't, but I think they could win it and just go back to the Super Bowl. They could go 2 times in a row. They look better than they did last year, honestly. They may not playing like it, but they look better. They have a better record. Their team is together more. They don't have home field advantage, but they're looking amazing. The Eagles, they don't want to talk about them. They're not good. They shouldn't have been in the playoffs, honestly, but it's whatever. Next game, America's team, Dallas Cowboys, and the San Francisco 49ers. Was actually a very good game. Many flags, lots of flags. I think there was Dallas had over 15 flags or something, which was just amazing to me. 15 flags is crazy. But the Dallas Cowboys, they disappointed everyone. They're 12-5 coming in. I've been telling everyone all season that I have not played anyone good because they haven't. They didn't. They don't deserve to be in this playoff game. They got destroyed by San Francisco pretty much the whole game. They didn't score until the second, and they didn't score in the third, but they scored 10 points in the fourth. People really thought the comeback was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. When you have 13 flags every game, every play there's a flag on Dallas, so I didn't expect anything. And if anyone says anything about how the ref got in the way, it's not worth it because the ref has to put the ball down anyway. For a play to start, he has to put that ball down, and people are saying player interference, but the guy's in the way anyway. The center can't put the ball down and call hike. He needs to wait for the ref to put it down for him, blow his whistle, and then they could call play. But it was a stupid decision for Dak to run the ball with 15 seconds left, no timeouts, in the middle of the field, and just get sacked. I don't know what they expected, but they weren't going to win the game anyway. San Francisco's looking good. I don't think San Francisco is a good team. Their best players are out pretty much. Fred Warner is out, but he's coming back. He said he's doing good. And then Nick Bosa, one of the best defensive players in the league, he is out. I do not know if he's coming back. He's probably not, at least for another week, I bet. But when you're missing those two big guys and you still beat the Dallas Cowboys, it shows that this team is good and their defense isn't bad at all. There's definitely some things they could fix in the secondary, and definitely on the D line, and their offense honestly does not look that bad either. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's going to be a free agent next year. I think if you're a team and you have the chance to pick him up, I would definitely pick him up. He's a good QB. He just doesn't get the credit he deserves. He made the Super Bowl like 2 years after leaving the Patriots. He also did really well in New England whenever you get to play. He is a very good quarterback. He was under Tom Brady. He deserves credit. No one gives it to him, but I will. He played very well. And then the last game that was played, as of right now, was the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. We all know who won this. The Chiefs were going to win either way. The Steelers did not deserve to be in the playoffs. I did not like them being in the playoffs at all. They didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. Even the thought of it, because they weren't good. They're 9-7-1. They did not deserve to be in the playoffs. There's so many other better teams that should have been in. Like the Chargers should have been in over them, honestly. But I guess the tie rule, and they didn't get the tie, so it didn't happen. But we all know the Chiefs were going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even Ben Roethlisberger said it before he went to the game. He goes, we really don't deserve to be here. And it's the truth. He did not deserve to be in that playoff game. His last game should have been versus the Ravens, and he should have retired. I think he's going to retire, but it doesn't matter. He's old anyway. So I think the Steelers, they have a new start now. They should get a new quarterback next year. And, maybe they could restart. They have a good defense, a very good defense, but I think slowly, if they could just build up their offense, they could start to win games and maybe be a winning team again. But the Chiefs, though, they are looking very well. They're 12-5 this season. Their offense is on fire every game. Same for their defense. It may take a little bit of time to get the offense started up, but once they start going, they start going. Kelsey gets open, Hill gets open, Patrick Mahomes starts slinging the ball like it's nothing. They're a very good team. There's only a few teams that maybe stop them. I think Green Bay could stop him, the Bucs could stop him, and maybe the Titans. But I can't wait to see the Titans play next week. I'm hoping I kind of want to see Titans versus Chiefs in the championship game. That would be a very good championship game. But moving on with the last game on the wild card weekend, well, Monday, not really a weekend, but Martin Luther King Day. It is Martin Luther King today. But they're playing, it is the Arizona Cardinals versus the Rams, Los Angeles Rams. My father is actually a Rams fan, and he's going to be watching the game tonight, same for me. But if I had to make a prediction between these two teams who's going to win, I'm not being biased at all. I think the Rams will win. But it's going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be 24-21. If it's high scoring, it's going to be like 42-41. It's going to be a field goal or even an extra point game, I really think. So I cannot wait to watch this game tonight. I cannot wait to watch this game tonight. Really, it's going to be a very good game. You know, we have Jared Goff going up against Kyle Murray. It's going to be a very good game, I think. Kyle Murray is very mobile. He's very quick. He's very short too, but he's very fast. Defenses cannot keep up with him. But the Rams defense, you know, they're stacked. They got Von Miller, Aaron Donald, you know, all those guys. They have all these guys coming at you. There's going to be Jalen Ramsey on the defense too. He's looking amazing. He's playing very well against these defenses. But, you know, the last loss was to San Francisco. That was a sad game. They should have won that. They're up 16-0 at one point. They should have won that game. But, you know, what are you going to do? Can't fight it. Then just move on if I was the Rams. You got a wild card game tonight. You play the Arizona Cardinals. And at one point, the Arizona Cardinals were undefeated, I think 8-0. And they were Super Bowl favorites. But they kind of went in a downhill. Now they're 11-6. They did lose a lot of their games in this last stretch. I think they started off very strong, but they started to lose their momentum. And they just started to lose very slowly, which does suck, but it's whatever, you know, I would move on as a team, but I find the Rams winning tonight. I think it's going to be 26-22, honestly. If I had to give a real score, yeah, I'd say 26-22. It would be a really good game. I think Goff's going to throw two touchdowns, and they're going to run two in and then kick a field goal or two. And Arizona Cardinals, they're going to play very well, and they're going to stop the Rams a lot and have a few turnovers, actually. But the Rams are going to pull it through. And that's all we have today. So we just went over all the wild card games. Cincinnati won, Buffalo won, Tampa Bay won, San Francisco won, Kansas City Chiefs won, and now just the Rams and Arizona have to play tonight at 8:15. Actually, currently, as I'm doing this podcast, it is 7:47. I'm going to watch the game in about 30 minutes on my computer. I can't wait to watch it. Thank you for listening. I hope you all have fun watching the games and the rest of the playoffs, as I hope I could cover it on the podcast. Thank you for listening. Bye.